Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Today we have a beached whale situation. 2004 Nissan Maxima V6 6-speed manual and a 2011 Toyota Camry. So let's start with the Nissan. This thing was towed here from at least 3 hours away. It might be a little butchered. Let's read the customer complaint and see where this thing goes. First of all, let's get the battery charger on here. We're at 7.6 volts. That's not going to cut it. So let's fire this thing up. You can hear the car's coming back to life. It's not accepting very much current at all. So the battery might be spanked, but it is going up. So hopefully it recovers. We'll fire up the scanner, see if we can talk to this thing. We do have a check engine light. Let's see, does it crank? Ooh. Okay, let's let the battery charge up a little bit. Let's read the customer complaint. Alright, here we go. So as I stated before, the car was hesitating previously and then the car shut off on the highway. Having the car towed to my house, let the car sit for a week and it started. Acceleration was poor, jerky-like. Going against my better judgment, I decided to drive the car to the shop, in which we recommended a tune-up, which included spark plugs and coils. Did an oil change. When I got the car back, it barely had to turn back around and take the car back to him because the car was so low on power. The second time I took the car back to him, he told me to clean the catalytic converters. How the heck do you do that? The car was fixed. I got the car to check engine light was still on. The car seemed to have drove somewhat normal, but then maybe 3 minutes later felt loss of power and then the car cut off again. This time when I opened the hood, I smelled some type of gasoline, blah, 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 burning smell. Towed the car back to him. He said, if it's not the starter, then it's the motor. Holy crap. He said they put a new starter in, tried it, but the car still wouldn't start. They recommended a new motor. That is ridiculous, people. When I asked him, did he leave the new starter on? He told me to put the old one back on. When I went to pick it up the car, he did not put the fuse box back where it belongs. I also noticed that he did not attach the wires to the radiator. Assuming he was trying to check the starter, not really sure. He was checking to see if the motor was locked up. It seemed like it spun using a socket wrench. Did not mean the previous email right after, almost 2 years ago, I drove it 2 hours. I went to get gas and remember the car not wanting to start. I was a little worried. I mentioned previous email 3 months ago. I purchased a starter, put it on the back seat just in case. I was probably burnt out. Okay. This really feels like deja vu to me. Remember that Nissan we did near Philadelphia during the conference? What was the problem with that one? Same thing, misfire. The guy drove it, it barely drove. He put new coils on, new plugs. It seemed to be okay, then it crapped out again. You're going to have to watch the video for that one, but this one seems very, very similar. So let's get this thing to crank first. Make sure the battery's charged up, measure the voltage at the battery while cranking, and then measure the voltage on the engine block while cranking. See if we have any weird voltage drops. So on auto ID, it did not auto ID. That's a red flag. So 2004 confirmed. I have to put the VIN in manually. And let's just do a smart scan. See if we can talk to the engine computer. Doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe we can. It's green. Okay, maybe 2004 didn't auto ID. Let's just do a full code scan, see what happens here. Alright, so code scan is complete. We just have 3 codes in the entire car. ABS, battery voltage abnormal, instrument cluster, communication circuit, and automatic driving position. Not sure what that is. UART communication. So let's just clear these out right now. Perfect. Okay, let's go into ECM. Make sure we can read live data. I mean, if this thing can't crank, there's going to be a main voltage issue, power or ground, either to the engine block or to the starter. No DTCs. Make sure we're online here. All signals. Let's see if we push the accelerator. Yep, that works. Battery voltage 13.5. Brake switch on. Good. Fuel pump relays off. So everything looks fine at the moment. Okay, so we're done with the scanner for now. Let's get a voltmeter hooked up. Alright, so we're at 13.5 volts, 17 amps. I'm going to measure the voltage drop between the engine block and battery negative. See what's going on here. Let's try to crank it. There's the voltmeter. You guys can see that. It glares a little. There we go. So 2.5 millivolts at the moment. Sounds like a lot. Either something's locked up. Everything goes blank. What's the voltage on the battery during this event? Let's see. Now we're up to 30 volts. Let me just put this on the positive terminal. Like so. I can smell something electrical. So maybe the starter is bad. I don't know. Let's see. 13.5 volts. Okay, so it did spin over. Let me check the battery connections. Alright, so the positive terminal seems to be tight. The negative terminal is loose. Let me tighten that bolt, pinch bolt down. Make sure we have a good battery connection. Alright, we're at 13.5 volts. Let's try to crank it over again. Wow. Let's check the engine oil. Okay. Oil looks full. Oh, that makes such a terrible sound. Something seized up in our belt drive. I don't know. But it did want to start, which is promising. Just gonna give it a little gas, and if it blows, it blows. It's already messed up. Yeah, the voltage is dropping to 0. Yeah, something's definitely dragging here. All right, well, I got a breaker bar or a big wrench on the harmonic balancer, and guys, I can barely, with all my strength, get this engine to turn over. So the last thing we can do is take the belt off, make sure it's not any of the accessories. If it's still hard to turn over, we're calling the engine. Simple as that. Alright, loosened up the tensioner up there. Belt is off. It's loose. Did it get any easier? Nope. This thing is... We're done. We're done. Sorry. So I just talked to the customer, the owner of the Maxima. He was a little disappointed in the bad news, but it is what it is, and I asked him, did you religiously check your oil? These things are oil burners, as you can tell by the black tailpipes. Look at these things. Completely just black with soot, so I assume he ran it low on oil. He said that oil was changed 2 months ago. Doesn't look like it. That oil is black. So, not a happy ending here, but I think he'll swap in another engine and be more careful next time. Now we have to roll this thing down the lane and park it somewhere where it can get picked up in a week, because it's kind of blocking my lot. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, here we go. Come on, gravity. Hopefully there's no one coming in the left lane there. I think we're good. And we'll just park it right here. Ready for pickup. Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. We've got a beached whale Toyota Corolla 2005 from Canada. It's in my neighbor's driveway. Friend came to visit and now it does not crank. So let's see if we can figure this one out. He said it does have a remote start system, so aftermarket stuff, maybe that's a variable, but let's see where this goes. Alright, so here's the symptoms. Put the key in, crank it. You can hear the fuel pump kick on, but the starter is not engaging. So let's look up a schematic of the starting system, and it should be fairly basic. It's a 2005, but with the aftermarket remote start system, we could have more variables. Alright, here we go. So on all data, there's our starter, and here's the starter relay in the instrument panel junction box. Now how is that starter relay controlled? So there's the ignition switch. When you turn it to start, it'll send voltage down here, through the park neutral safety switch, through this junction connector. Depending on if you have immobilizer or not, which we do, it has to go through the starter cut relay to the starter relay, and that will click and energize the starter. So where is the starter relay? So you look up the component location right here, starter relay. It's in this junction box, which is kind of a pain to get to under the dash. You can see it, I got it loose, and that purple relay back there, that's the start relay. So initial check, I just hold my finger on it, turn the key, and it does not click. So we have a control side issue for sure. Now getting it out is not easy. I don't know if I have to tear the whole dash apart here, but we have to see what controls that starter relay, because the wiring might not be OEM. And by the way, there are no codes stored in the entire vehicle, so let's at least follow the wiring colors. It should be a black and white power side switched wire going to the starter relay. If we can find this L11, maybe turn the key on and just feed that with a test light, see if the relay clicks on, see if the car starts, and then we'll worry about the circuit, the control side circuit right here. Okay, so I pulled up a data pin in the engine computer. It says starter signal. When we crank it, that does make it to the engine computer. So what does that mean? I think what it means is we should be good to here through the park neutral safety switch. Now if we want to check that, let's put it in reverse. There we go. So put it in reverse, crank it, look at the scanner. Okay, so we know the park neutral switch works, and we know that it must be good through here to the engine computer. So now we're worried about this black wire, anti-theft, black and white or black, going to the junction box. So let me find L11. This wire right here, we'll probe it, see if there's a signal on there. If there isn't, we can manually, energize it and see if the car will start. Okay, so the fuse box, IL, is going to be this middle connector. It's 11 pins. And that's the one that's right here. And I'm guessing this black and white wire, that's should be pin 11, if I'm not mistaken. But let's, so I got my probe on there. Well, test light connected to battery negative. Turn the key to crank. Look at that. Starter relay control is fine. It does click. So I was wrong with my finger test. Let's go to the starter. It just could be a bad starter. Alright, we've got the starter control wire unhooked right here. I'm going to hook up a 4 amp test light from that wire to battery ground. So if we find it positive, the test light will light up. So when we crank it, the test light should light up nice and bright. So let me pin that in there and we'll do the check. Alright, there's the bulb. And bad starter. Alright, here we go. So hold it in the crank position. Boom! There it is.